Happy Halloween! Hello and welcome. If you're new, then welcome to my channel, and if you are a returning subscriber, then welcome back. It's lovely to have all of you here to join me for a little visit and talk about stitching. So I will take my hat off because it is annoying to have on. So it's been a while. I did say in my last update that it would, and I would be back for Halloween. And I can already now spoil that it's not the 31st of October for me, but it will be for you when you see this video. So, what have I been up to? I was supposed to stitch a lot, but somehow the organizing bug has really bitten me, and I have stitched, but I have been organizing a whole lot. So now my stitchy spot actually looks pretty decent. I found out that I wanted to make a bobbin box for my epic Pokemon floss, because there I use, because of the different way I stitch from then to now, it doesn't really work well having the floss that I use for Pokemon for the rest of my stitchy stuff. So I took every 105 floss out of my master set box that belonged to Pokemon and put it in a separate box, and now I have to bobbinate every floss that I'm missing from my master set because of the ones I took to my Pokemon. So, but that has been fun, and I will insert a video from, I just took a little film about my stitching stuff, so you will see that here. Hi, so this is a little clip that I want to show you about my stitchy spot. So here you can see I have done some changes to my the bookshelf. I have claimed 2 of the bottom shelves. So here I have my bobbin boxes. For one of these are for the epic Pokemon. I am talking about it in my update. And these are like fake DMC that have got in loot packs, or from kits that I have bought, and they're not matching exactly to the number they are, and when I try to compare them to other flosses, they're not an exact match. So I have put the closest number on and put them in here, but they are like, they feel like DMC floss, or maybe it's anchor floss or something like that. So I have them in one box, and this one are for the CXC and other like fake DMCs I got from China with the mistakes before I knew anything, because it said it was DMC floss, but it's not. It's just they have the exact colors, and the color match perfectly with the DMC number they have, but the floss feel different and are different when stitching with. They are a little bit thicker, and they are also easier to like start getting thin. And this one is also filled up with these flosses. Then I have, this is just some organizing I am doing that is laying here. This stuff is for my Christmas projects I am doing. So I just have taken everything down of Ada and plastic canvas that I most likely will use when doing more of the Christmas stitching. My cone of black DMC, I just needed to move because all the other stuff. So when that is in place, this cone of DMC will most likely stand here. But one of the biggest changes you see is these boxes or containers. And this one I had previously, I had all my yarns in when I did knitting and crocheting, but I decided to put those in another box that is storage on a more difficult place to find and get out. Because I'm almost never going to knit and crochet, and if I am, then I will just take the box and find a new place for it then. But so far I'm not. So here I have whips, and there are some kitted up projects. I think I have bags, like real project bags or these plastic bags for all my whips, except this is the baby blanket. I don't have a place for that. I have also my needle minders and my metal sheet of or plate of needle minders here for when I also have my kitted up project. So here is my kitted up project that are non-full coverage. This is some extra pages I have printed out for the Maui princess. So I had some extra space in the containers. One wasn't enough, but two were too much, if there's anything called too much. And then we have this one. Here I have my main whips that I am working on currently, and also some non-working on currently furthest behind. And I also have some more kitted up projects here. I actually have non-used folder. But I know what project, I know that I'm starting some project and it will go in this folder. So yeah, here are mostly, this is one more kitted up. It's the Cinderella I'm doing. That is a priority, so it already has gotten its own plastic bag, call it that, project bags. And as you can see, these project bags that I have bought from Evertote, it's not ideal for these containers because they're just a tiny smidge too big. But these ones and these that I bought from Lakeside Needlecraft fits perfect, so I might maybe buy some more of those in the future. But I'm still gonna use my normal fabric project bag because they easily bend in here. And I also have just a normal IKEA Ziploc bag on my Lady and the Tiger. And since I still have some room, as you can see, I have some notebooks down here. But I think in the future this will fill up more, so I'm not worried. Here is my double-sided bobbin box, as always, beside me. And here is my flowery stand, my faithful companion, and my stitching chair. And here on the window we have the bird feeder, and the birds have been flying all day eating sunflower seeds. And it's not like the cheap stuff I have bought. I actually used sunflower seeds that are made for baking, when you bake bread and stuff like that. I use those seeds to give to the birds, and it seems like they really, really enjoy them. Because I'm not a fan of giving them cheap stuff. I don't know. I feel they deserve better when they're giving me so much joy. So here you can see I have 2 coasters. I normally have my water bottle here and a glass of soda or something here. So it's easier for me to get the water and drink more water, and at the same time have soda. And of course using coasters because I don't want everything to get wet when it's wood. Here you can see I normally have my iPad here. When the iPad is not standing here, it looks a lot neater. So this is the A Stitch a Day Keeps Reality Away stitching that I did. And I have just a little picture of my son when he was, I think he is 4 months old here. And it's holding one of his teddies, a bunny. So yeah. And I have this little box standing here. I need to have things in boxes because if you see, there is some space between here, and I don't want anything to fall down. So this is a top of a box that is inside there. So, and here I have some of my made floss cards from when I worked. I could make them myself. Have some small things like thread keepers that I can use for kitting up, hair clips if I need them for parking, etc. For some reason I have glue. I don't remember why, but I used it for something. And my stitch piece is just standing here because I have not made a project bag for it. It just comes out once a week, and then I only stitch for an hour, max 2, and then it's back waiting for the next stitch. Here I have everything essential I need when stitching. So here I keep some of my needles. I also have some small boxes for needles yeah. And I put my invisible threads, white and a black, in these bags because that floss was going all over and it's uncontrollable. So I put it in some bags so it wouldn't go away. My pens, my color pens that is friction pens, so I can remove. My ruler for when I measured a length of floss that I cut. Here I have, this is the graph book where I do the graphing and counting of progress and full coverage. This is a graph book for actually graphing stitching. This other book is the one I use for everything else. I actually have the one book you saw inside there. I have started to do whips in that one, and I will also do kitted up projects in that, just a single one. I need to change these top bars from here to there on these 2 projects, but that's fine. Because the top bar for this one was missing a piece, so I can't use it. So, but I might find something substituting and fix that in the future. And I have my Q-snaps and hoops here, my extra Q-snaps and grime guards in a bag inside the box. And I have the project. So, was it fun? I'm starting to get really happy with how my stitchy spot looks. It's not perfect or anything, but it's the best I can do with what I have, so I'm pretty happy. I might change a little bit here and there in the future, but I think I finally have gotten a good chunk of how I want it to be. Because now I have all my whips right beside me where I sit and stitch, and that's just easier. And it's easier for me if I suddenly don't feel like stitching on anything to just pull out one of the drawers or containers and look inside for what whip I want to do, because everything is right there. So that's nice. I have also been kitting up a lot of projects, so that I will talk more about in my plans. And otherwise, I'm not that good, so I might be a little bit rambly and such on, and I might like always look another way, another direction, just because my head is, I'm really struggling with my head, because we had an almost break-in night to Saturday. My husband was supposed to be nice and sleep upstairs in the guest bedroom so I could sleep in. So when Leo woke, he would be able to take Leo right away and make me sleep in a little bit. But at 4:30, I heard someone stomping right outside my window, and I know it's right outside my window because we have on the back side where backyard, we have a door from our room out to the backyard, and there is like this little wood porch, terrace, call it what you want, that is like 1 to 2 meters, so it's not that wide, maybe like this. And I could hear someone stomping on the wood, the panels that is there, and I jumped out of bed and I was like, I have to check the door. And when I came to the door, I moved the handle and I could feel it move. And that door is, if it's locked, you can't move the handle. If it's open, you can move the handle. So I hurried and locked the door. I could hear them then and there being like right outside the door. They didn't talk much, but they did like make some sounds. So, and I think one of them tried to push the door to see if it was open, but then I had locked it. And then they walked away. But I was terrified and I was afraid they would come back, maybe try and break a window or something. So I didn't dare to like go up to my husband and wake him, because then I would have to leave Leo alone downstairs. So yeah, it was just a terrible fright. I have started to get a little bit over it now. The night to today, I actually managed to sleep in my bed without being super terrified, and actually sleeping all night, not like waking up every half an hour. So that's good. So, but that's, life happens, and I just need to take the time it takes to get over it. And now I want to talk about my whips, because that is fun and that's what we all are here for. So I have one FFO. It's the Fairy Tale Sal. This is for my niece. She is getting it for Christmas. If you've been here before, I think I talked about that I will celebrate Christmas with my brother this year. I have never celebrated Christmas with my brother because my parents did not allow us to celebrate Christmas when we were little. So this will be the first year celebrating with him and my niece and nephew and sister-in-law, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I stitched this for my niece. She loves everything pink and girlish and unicorns and rainbows. So she's a real girl. If you like use the old system where it's like blue is for boys and pink is for girls kind of thing, the old way of thinking, then she is a girl. Like, she is the girl. So she's amazing. So this is what it looks like now. So last time I think I only had the maiden done. And then my plan was to start this, I think it was three or 4 days before the last square came out, last part, but that didn't go that well. So I ended up having to be like, oh, I will do it tomorrow. Oh, I will do it tomorrow. And I think I started the day before the last pattern was released. So it took me some more days than I had anticipated. But it's fine. It's all good. If you want to know the conversions, let me know and I will copy and paste the list, because there is so much conversion on this thing. I have, except for the mice colors and the colors in the ears, and like I think some of the jester's clothes, the red in the king and the purple color in the wizard, I think that is the only thing being the called for colors, and the backstitch colors, of course. Backstitch color only for this 3799, that's called for. But the border, everything here, like all the beads, there is a bunch of metallics in this one. I don't think I can get it to show up properly, but there is like metallics all over. So you can see it in real life, and I really hope that she will love it. So that was an FFO. That's not something I always have. This one was stitched on I bought a grab bag from Pole Stitch Designs, and this was one of the fabrics in there. It's actually belongs to, if you remember the mouse and the pumpkin that I did, the ornament. This is actually from the same fabric, because that fabric was like different colors all over the place. So this is just a part of that. I think it's a 28 count, and if you want the same fabric, most likely go to Pole Stitch Design and find a fabric that has like a bunch of colors on it, and you're right there. So that was that. Next up, my baby sampler. See if I can do this. So here is where I am at now. The dare is finished. I have used glow in the dark floss It was Petite Treasure Braid PB300. The fabric is 46 count light lavender from Extrude Design. The floss used in the leaves and the 3 is hand dyed by Rolanda. I think the leaves was something like number 36 and the 3 is number 16. If you want the correct colors, just let me know. The correct number, let me know, and I will give it to you. So what I'm missing now is beading the eyes and the beak of the bird. I am hiding birth info and most of the name. I just wanted to show you a little bit of the colors, how it is. So the top part is like a darker gray, and the lighter part is like a little bit lighter gray. It was supposed to be way more lighter, but it didn't look right on the light lavender, so I converted the color. So, and days coming, I will be really busy, have a lot of meeting that is concerning my way forward health-wise, and hopefully get money. This, I could easily finish this tonight if I wanted to, but I will make it a travel project because it's a really nice and easy travel project, just filling in those sleeves. Excuse me. So you see there's not many left, and everyone is outlined. So that will go fairly quick and easy when I just sit down and do it, but because I want it as a travel project, because that is the easiest thing I can do while sitting waiting somewhere. I don't need my pattern, I don't need my floss because it's all hanging here. So yeah, that will be my travel project, and when this week and some days out in the next week, if it's not done, then I will of course just take it inside, stitch on it tonight and get it done. So that's good. Next up, I finished my snowflower biscornu that I told you that I have designed myself. That was a part of the grape biscornu swap with one color, and the recipient has received it, so I will insert a picture here. So I'm really happy with how it looks, and yeah, I think it looks really great and was very pleased with the results. So next up, I just need to stretch over to get all the whips, or the rest of the whips. I don't remember if last time that I was finished with my Adventure Awaits now. So this is part 4 was Australia, and is this Antarctica or Arctica? I don't remember the difference, but it's the one down in the south. And down in the south there is penguins. So those penguins I charted myself with help from, I did get Stitching Mommy. She did a penguin first, converted it. So I took her penguin, made a few changes, and then made 2 more penguins that are sliding on the snow, because penguins sliding on the snow is super cute. So, and here you have the opera house, a boomerang, I don't remember, but it's some kind of gate or bridge, a dolphin, and some fireworks. And I am considering maybe doing like one more dolphin, or I think you may call the whales, I'm thinking of killer whales. It's the one that is black on the top and white on the bottom, the Free Willy, that kind of whale in Free Willy, if you remember that movie. I do. Yes, I'm that old. So in Norwegian the name is spekkhogger. That is what I want to do, basically. So part 5 is already out. It's South America, but I am thinking I will wait until a few days before the last part is released and just start stitching the 5th part, and then jump over and do the rest when the last part 6 is released, which will be North America. So that's at least my plan so far for this. I might take it out and start South America before, I don't know. And it might end up like I told with my fairy tale style. I had the same great idea and ended up just prolonging what I had already working, and ended up not starting before everything was released. So that's that. Next up, the 10th of October was Heather, Link is my homeboy's birthday sale, and she did her birthday sale was doing the Black Pearl or something mermaid related, or just anything, and put the hashtag on it, I think she said. I was trying to look for the correct name of the fabric. There it is. I usually put the tags in the bag because I have already made this film once and I wasn't happy with it because that was yesterday, and I was even worse, and I was like sitting and shaking on my hands, and yeah, it was terrible. So much better today, so do a new one today. So the Black Pearl, I did start. So since I have it here, I am using Silks for You PRO 70. It's like a black grayish color. I am going to use Victorian Motto sampler lace for the skin, and her red here will be in Victorian Motto sampler Mahogany Wine and Christmas in July. So I think they will look really good. And this fabric is fabric of the month from September, the Primitive way. I have been subscribing to 3 months of the Primitive and 6 months of the Brights. So I have 1 more on the Primitives and 4 more on the Brights. So this is a 46 count Bergen linen in the colorway Cinnamon Roll. And it's a really great color. I love it. And that's my start. All this fabric is not being used, but I don't want to cut it since she has serged the edges. So I just cut it afterwards. So there's where I'm at. Done the top lettering. This is a part of the frame, and this is gonna be the swing going down. So that's where I'm on her. And I don't know if she will get much more love in the days coming. But yeah, she will be worked on at least next year. And why, I will tell you more about when I come to plants. So if you can hear this rattling, it's because I already have put some beads I want to use in there. So I feel like I'm going with a little baby toy each time I touch that bag. It's like chick, 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 chick. Then I worked some more on my Haunted Mansion cell. This one is stitched on a 14 count. Yes, I measured this time. It's not 16 as I had believed. It's a 14 count, and that also explains why the borders are just a tiny bit close, but that's fine. So here I am at now. Just look at that moon. It's so amazing. I'm so glad I did the conversion. Each time I take it out and look at it, I just love that moon. That moon is amazing. Truly, it looks fabulous. So everything on the top is done down to here. And this is where the rooms will begin. So part 2 and part 3. Because part 1 was all of the border, and this is, I have started the 3 down here from the top down. I think I can say thank you to Lollipop Stitches and Michelle Garrett Bendy Stitchy for talking about the 3 is really hard to stitch, and they did a lot of mistakes. And because of that, I was very careful when I started and have not had a single mistake so far. So it looks really good. So I like how this is coming along. I might take 1 or 2 days now and stitch on this for Halloween. It will not be done by Halloween, but get some more stitching on it done, and then it will most likely be put away until next year, and hopefully finished by Halloween next year. So that's that. Then I have stitched a whole lot of smalls. It's for, this is going to be coasters, magnets, etc., which will be Christmas presents. So this first set is going to be coasters, and it's Christmas themed. So these are the exact size for the coasters. This is not, but I have bought scrapbook paper that I will stick this on and put inside the coasters with Christmassy scrapbook paper. So I think that will look good. Be good. Just trying to change it up a little bit. That's not every coaster is like fully cross-stitched fabric, but having some scrapbook paper in the bottom I think can be really cool. And all of these are just random scraps of Ada that I have from grab bags I just cut off, I had laying around. So it's everything from 11 count to 18 count, and then I really mean like from 11 to 18, like 11, 14, 16, 18. I have some more planned to do, and they're all different sizes of Ada. So then I had to finish by the number cell, so I had to bring out my butterflies galore. This is how she will look. This is artwork by Jasmine Beckett Griffith. And here is where I'm at now. So the 2400 stitches I have to do for by the number, since this is 10 stitch, is now done. And it took a lot longer than I would have thought, but if you see, there is a bunch of confetti here, like all these butterflies just sticking a little bit out, this hair strand going down, these two parts, the section from where it goes from here to there is a lot of confetti. So but she's turning out pretty good, I think. So yeah, I haven't decided if I want to do another 2400 stitches or in November, or if I will just use my Lady and the Tiger or Pokemon and do 1200 stitches on that. Just because I have so much Christmas presents that are not done. But again, more about that in plans. We're soon at plans, so don't worry. Last whip, it's the Xstitch. A bunch of other Flosstuber is talking about Xstitch, but if you wonder what it is, comment below and I will answer you. I won't go into details now, but I have done part 1 and part 2, and part 3 did release on Saturday night to Sunday for me. It's releasing something like 4 AM on Sunday. But I haven't gotten to part 3 yet, so I will try and do this. And this is a totally mystery cell, so we have no clue what it is. For all we know, this might be the letter H, because Xstitch is known for only giving partial letters and such out. So we have no clue. So we'll just wait and see what it is. So finally, over to plans. I think I will talk about my plans in the long run first, and then plans that is closest to what I'm going to do now, like November plans after that. So, No Stars 2019, it's talked about. I have talked about it. I have said I will do it. I have said I will not do it. I have said I will do it again. And I think I finally have found my sweet spot, if you can call it that, for how I want to do No Stars 2019. And just so people don't feel I am forcing myself to do it, it's not that. I know Sarah, Stitching Mommy, had talked about it in her video, the fact that it's not for everyone and so on, but the reason I want to do it is because I have a lot of whips that I want to get done. I have been focusing pretty well this year getting done my older whips. So the oldest whip I have left is the Lady and the Tiger, which is from 2014. So, and before that I had whips from before 2000 that was older than 2000. Yeah, because I think my tiger I found out was from 1996 or something that I finished off, and the one I got from my sister that I restarted because she had done so many mistakes, I think that one is even older than that again. I think that was from something like 1994, crazy like that. She's 8 years older than me, so it's not like she was stitching when she was like 4 or 6 years as I was. So yeah, that's an old one. So I want to focus to get some more finishes. But one of the biggest concerns I have is that I don't have that many non-full coverage whips in my mind, or fancy ladies, big fancy ladies. It's not that I don't like those, but full coverage and fancy ladies they're not similar. They're kind of like a little bit like the same to stitch sometimes. At least with the Lady and the Tiger and the Epic Pokemon, they have like big blocks of colors in them, and they also have some confetti. So going from that to a fancy lady where we have big blocks of colors on the dresses, etc. It's just and that is so, yeah, I don't know how to explain it. It's just, it's not like, but in some ways they are similar. So I don't want to end up just having to stitch that for 4 or 5 months because everything else is done. And in reality, if I was realistic, that is most likely never going to happen, even though I just stitch on what I have. And the fact that I have a lot of whips that I have wanting to start for a long while now, but I've been keeping good and keeping my whip count under 30 whips. That has been my goal when I passed 20 whips, which went pretty fast because of the year of whips. I think when I started my year of whips, I started a whole bunch and I ended up with over 20 whips. So after that, my goal was to never go over 30 whips. And I have kept that. I have never been over 30 whips. I have had 29, I have had 28, but I have never had 30 whips on the go at once. So my goal is still there, and I still want to keep that goal in a way. And another thing that is bothering me is the fact I have a lot of things I want to start. So if I'm going to start it, I have to start it now. For one reason, my whip pile will increase. And the reason that it annoys me the most is that I know 1, 2 or 3 years in the future, having a bunch of whips started late 2018 will bug me. That will bug me easily, because when I look at my whip list, I don't look at the month, I just look at the year. So if I have anything from 2018, that will most likely bug me in 2020 to see that I have so many 2018 whips that I are having trouble to getting rid of. Because a lot of the whips I want to start are also full coverage, which is ironic since I just said I don't want to end up with just full coverage. Yeah, I'm not always making sense. Just go with it. It's fine. It makes sense in my head, if that helps. Maybe, maybe not. But yeah. So taking all this into consideration, I have been thinking and thinking and thinking, and I have already talked about this a whole lot. So what I came up with is I am going to do no starts 2019 for 6 months. For sure. That is like set in stone, 6 months. And when I'm closing into the 5th or 6th month, I will consider if I want to do the rest of the year or maybe 3 more months with no starts. I will have some exceptions. That is gifts, if I'm doing gifts. So I am giving up the fact that I want to start something. Maybe if someone else is doing a birthday sale, I will not start something. I will make the whips I have work for that sale, and if not, then I can join that sale. But most people nowadays, like Heather did with her mermaid, was like, stitch on this, or you can stitch on a mermaid, or you can stitch on whatever and just use my hashtag. So I think it will be fine. So the only thing is gifts, because I am already, now when I'm making gifts, I am planning to make more of the same types of gifts next year. Because like the coasters, it is too much to make like a good amount of coasters for one person. I will never get done by Christmas. And it's, considering the time it takes, it's a very expensive gift if you consider the time. If I time myself and put a value to my time used stitching, that is a really expensive gift. So my plan is to do, for the ones getting coasters, they will get 4 coasters, and next year they will get 4 more coasters, and maybe the year after that they will get even 4 more, so they have like 8 or 12 coasters, and I think that is a good set. Then you have enough for when most people come visit, and so on. So yeah, already thinking about Christmas gifts in 2019. Go me! So yeah. So gifts is an exception because I want to get those going, but I don't want to start all at once. Those I don't want to start everyone before 2019. That will just annoy me and I will never get it done. I know myself that much. So what I will do is I start one small and then do the next. And in a way, since it's part of a set, then maybe they don't count as a new start at all. Stitching mommy, what do you say? So yeah, but gifts will then be the exception. Suddenly someone is getting married or having a kid and I go crazy and decide to do a new baby sampler or wedding sampler. So yeah. But what I am going to do to solve the problem of having a lot of things I want to start, but not wanting to start them right now because I don't want to have them as on my list at started, is I suddenly remembered my Frosty Forest. That is going to be an A to C stitch with me. I have found the time I want to start that A to C stitch with me. That will be in December for my 1 year anniversary on Flosstube. Is my thinking. I think I did it like something 28th or 29th of December. I have to look it up. And what I have done with that is I did a half stitch. I can show you. Normally when I do my stitch, I do from 1 to 2 and 3 to 4. So on the back you get this line going from 2 to 3, because the floss is going from 2 down to 3, making this line to 4. And if I'm doing several, I will actually do like a lot of half stitches like this and go back over like this. So what I did with my Frosty Forest for starting it is I'm starting at the 1, go up and down, or I go up 1, down 2, up on number 3, and just part the floss. Because doing it this way, I start the floss like further down the cross stitch, like here. So I take the floss and go down over here in the fabric, come up here at 1, go down at 2, and up at 3, making sure to catch the tail that is under the fabric. And this way the floss is secured and I haven't even done a full stitch. So even though I started my Frosty Forest just doing that half stitch just to measure up and have everything ready to go when I start filming, I didn't considering it a whip, since just had a half stitch, but it is started. So can you see where I'm going with this? It's not a whip, but it is started. So my plans, my cheat sheet is going to be the ones I have wanting to start, the ones I have kitted up, and yes, there is a bunch of full coverage I have done that with. But I also know for the by the number sale next year, I need to start some whips to get all the categories. Because even though I have stretched it as far as I can, the way I'm pretty good at doing, me and Jessie Marie, if you need anything to stretch to fit in something, just ask us, we can do it. It's the Marie way. And even though I have really stretched some of them, there's still some categories I just don't have. And there is some categories that I have that I feel like I can't stretch it that much. That is just too thin of a line. I can stretch pretty far. I can like make every whip I have fit everything with just stretching, but I will not feel comfortable with it, so I will also need some starts for that. But how many it will be, we'll see. It's not like when I do the half stitch, so it's ready to start, it's not like, oh, now I do have to stitch on it in 2019. Some of them may lay to 2020. Because what I will do is still try and keep I think I found that I want to keep my non-full coverage whips to under 20 whips at every time. Never passing 20 on my non-full coverage whips. And fancy ladies. Don't forget the fancy ladies in there. I have that right now. I am under 20. and that I will still keep. And as I finish some things I will start now, hopefully in 2018, and some of them will be fully started in 2019. So that is my plans for the No Starts 2019 so far. I think the most important part is the fact is, even though I do the half stitches on a bunch of whips now, it's not said that I'm going to start them in 2019. They're just going to be there if I need it for the by the number style. If I need it for like Stitch Mania is doing those Winter Olympic styles and so on, the ones where you have different things each day, different categories, and you make your whips fit. Some I am going to start is also going to be gifts for next year that I know I will do a little bit bigger gifts, Christmas stitching. And for if I by some chance manage to get all my small, medium projects stitched and finished, then I want to have some of them laying around that I can take when that itch for being a finished stitcher hit me. Because I am mostly a process stitcher, so having just full coverage and fancy ladies, it's not that big of a problem for me. That's fine. I'm loving the process of stitching, and some of the whips I actually love the most to stitch are my full coverage pieces and fancy ladies. But once in a while, when I am that much of a process stitcher, I get that just tiny itch. You know that every Flosstuber has that itchy nose. I get that tiny itch that I want something finished. It just happens once in a while. It's not always so. But I want to have just some not fully started whips. If that itch hit me, and I can take it out and maybe finish it in a day or two. That was a long ramble about No Start 2019. So for plans for November. My plan is to get more of the Christmas stitching done. I hope with all the appointments I have in November, I hope that I can get my baby sampler done just doing that. If not, as I said, second week in November I will most likely take it home and just finish it in an evening, because it's just an evening's work left on that, because there's no counting, it's only filling in. I have a swap for the MrX group that I need to do before the 15th of November and send off. So that one we have secret partners, I think. Yeah. So I can show that to you, I'm pretty sure, because the person will not know it's from me or that she is getting it from me. And I need to do the by the numbers. So I am hoping to, when I have decided what I want to do, I am thinking maybe Pokemon, because that is a long time since last I stitched on that. I will put it on my lowery stand and have it there until I can finish the by the numbers style. Just do each every day as it was a 100 days challenge. If I don't do the Pokemon, I really want to do the butterflies galore, because if I do the 2400 stitches. I will be done with page 2 and only have one partial page left. So that's tempting. But I will see. It would really nice to get Butterflies Galore done by this year. In a way, I want to do that. But in another way, I know I have to get the Christmas presents done first. So I will just roll with it and see what I do. I plan to be back as normal from November. I will not do an update now on Friday, but the Friday after that, so it will be 1.5 weeks approximately before I am back. Almost 2 weeks before I will be back again, and then I will start doing filming each Friday or Thursday, depending on what fits the best, as I have done. And from November, the 6th of November, I think, it's a Tuesday, I will start doing the live stitch with me again, if my husband is out of the house. He is supposed to be out of the house because he has his board games nights every Tuesday, but lately that has not been happening because people have been traveling. He has some extra work he has to do on work, so he has so today he will not be home before like 9 or 10 o'clock, but that is I don't like to film those days where I know he suddenly can come home and disturb me. But I hope 6th of November I will be back with filming live stitch with me. And so yeah. Last up is a swap I had from the Great Biscorner swap. I received mine, a tiny bit of haul, and some Xstitch magazines I bought, which I will just say a little bit what I think and how I feel about them. So like a tiny review at the end. If that is not something for you, then I will say bye to you now and have a great week and weekend and Halloween, and we talk later. And if you're still here, then Carrie in Stitches was my partner, and she made me this lovely Biscorner. I love it. And I also got this tiny Biscorner on a scissor fob to match the Biscorner I have, and I really love it. It's so cute, those tiny Biscorners. So you can see I already have it on my favorite pair of scissors. Then I did get my Victorian Motto sampler floss. This time I was happily surprised because lately they have been a little monogamous in what you get. You did also get like greens this time, but it's not like a lot of the greens. They're not like, they're like another, how do I say it? They're not like the other types of green that I have gotten. Shade Midnight are really nice dark gray. Purple and a very variegated purple. Not purple, orange, sorry. Purple. And darker purple. I kind of like the fact that, I don't know if these are both September and October, so I don't know if they came separately or in the same, but I like the way that they like match up if you need a darker and a lighter color. And you got this, it looked like the beaver grays in the DMCs, and a red, orangish, it calls orange flames, pink, bright pink, yellow, and a lighter orange. So I was really happy with the ones I got this time. I don't feel they're so... There was a lot of different colors than what you usually get. I am especially a fan of getting the grays, like the beaver grays or dark grays, or like close to black. I always love getting those kind of flosses because those are really the ones you use the most. That's why I bought that skein of PB070 from Silks For You, because when doing her Floss of the Month Club, we didn't get any grays, and in a way I can understand it because they like want to do like bright and colorful, have like nice colors, but I always happen to end up with the problem when I wanted to kit something up in silk that I don't have a gray, or I don't have a white. I need a gray and I need a white, and they're not there, or a black, and I don't have it. So that's why I bought that basically. So it's nice to get those colors. I really like it. If I had the money, I would definitely buy the Bewitching set from Victorian Motto Sampler with all the grays, but I couldn't afford it, so maybe next year if she does it. This is the Silks For You for September. The shipping takes a while, so I usually don't get my shipping before like the end of the month. So there are some nice Christmas red and greens and a highly variegated one. I really like it. It's like a rainbow colored if you just have this one. Like if you want to do something rainbowish, this will be perfect. So that's those. In the package that Carrie sent with the Biscornius, I got a box that says Mermaid Vibes, and it contains a lot of beads, and she also was so nice to leave in some of these with hearts, which I commented in one of the videos that I love and have been looking for, and apparently everyone else than me knows where to find them. So I also got these note pals in mermaid sea theme. I got some washi tape, which is really nice because washi tape in different colors and such I can't get in Norway, and these will be really lovely for packing Christmas presents and so on. And she also made me this beautiful needle minder that I need to now put on my metal board. I also bought one of the 4-pack mini hoops from Dandelion, where I have gotten like I can make some of them are smaller, some of them are bigger, and I can make them to like necklace, earrings, a ring, a brooch, yeah, different kinds of things. So I have been considering if I have the time, I will make 1 or 2 of those and give in a Christmas present. Crafty Kitten sale on Facebook. I managed to get the Easter Dreams opalescent 32 count, and it's pretty big. It's 18 by 27, so that's a half yard, isn't it? I think that's a hat here. So I hope to at least get one memorabilia on this. I am already thinking maybe doing the crescent moon, the baby sleeping on the moon, for a baby sampler for my son. So I was actually glad I got that, because it's random what you get, and I really wanted that one. So I got it. Next up, Stitching Mommy is to blame for this one. I did spend some money that I don't have, because she was talking about the Dragon Rider. You can find it in Stitcher's World September 1999 issue. And she had a link to it on eBay where there was an auction for it. So first I did bid like what I thought max I wanted to pay. And then someone bid over me. And I was like, okay, I can stretch this a little bit more. So I increased with, I think it was $10. I was like, okay, now I don't pay more than that. I didn't. So I got it. I won. But what I didn't know was the fact the person had an insanely high shipping cost to Norway for a magazine. That's like, I have no clue what she is sending it with, but that was way more than it should have been. But I got the pattern, and since I got it on a bid, I didn't pay that much for the pattern itself. It was actually the shipping being the highest cost. I think the shipping was $22, and that magazine was cheaper than that. Just saying. So, and then I'm at Xstitch magazines, because I have been watching like Michelle Bendy flipping through and doing reviews on the magazines. Not all of them has been speaking to me, but there was one in the past that I liked, but I was like, I can't justify that when there's only like max one stitch I know I am going to stitch. The other ones a little bit, yeah, maybe not. But then the Heroes and Villain magazine came out, and she did a flip through, and I fell in love. There are so many different kinds of patterns that I know I am going to stitch on this one, and I totally love it. So I bought the Space magazine, and the one I mostly want to do that I know I'm going to do. I might do more, but the one that I know I will do is, if I can find it, it's the Stardust one. That we're all made of stardust. And I saw it actually in this magazine somewhere. They had stitched it without the back stitching. There it is, this one. And I want to do it this way. We're all made of stardust. And this magazine, oh my, I love it. I love it. It's so good, and I haven't had Xstitch magazines before. And Michelle has been like, oh, you buy it for the articles and stuff, not only the magazines. And they have some really good articles. She's right. I didn't believe it at first. Sorry, Michelle, but they do. So one of the ones I really want to do is Punch Today in the Face. since I am more like a blue girl, I am considering changing the colors up to some blues, maybe some blues and pinks, just to make the blue pop, or blue and green. But I want that one punched today in the face. If you want to know where I got the dandelion idea, it's from the Xstitch magazines, the hero and villain issue. Then I want to do these smaller ones, the ants and the bee. I don't like spiders, so I'm not stitching spiders. It's like I am having trouble with this hat. There's a reason I can't have it on me for too long, because there's spider on it. So I have been considering just taking them off. I am so terrified of spiders, you would never know. And then the last one on the hero part of the magazine. It's not all superheroes wear capes. And I really like the fact that you can do it in different colors, so you can do it for the different what the different things they stand for. Like pink is cancer, purple is Alzheimer, and so on. So I really want to do that. I have some in mind that I want to do, and maybe do it for some people. So that is most likely happening. And then on the villain side, I want to do the poison apple, because this looks so good. I like Snow White, but most of the stitching when it comes to Snow White, I'm not a total fan. But this one I really like, and if it has the 7 dwarfs, I really like those also. So, but that one looks amazing. And the next one is this. Be the villain in your own story, stab something every day. I love this one. It looks so good. It is my colors. You have like blue and green. Didn't I just say blue and green? And black, of course. Black is my color. And I think, yeah, that was that. So love this magazine. Can highly recommend it. And what I didn't expect, I knew what I was getting with magazines, except I didn't know the articles were so good, was the fact, this note, and it's not what's on the front, that is the best part of this note. I did send my baubles in to Jamie, Mr.Xstitch, and I actually said that I were really curious if there is anyone else from Norway sending in baubles, because my thinking of doing the baubles is I have to represent Norway, because I don't think many other people will send baubles from Norway. And I had sent that not that long before, maybe a week or two before I bought this. So, and maybe a month. Yeah, it was a while. So I would not think that Jamie would remember little me, was the one sending the baubles and buying his magazines, but he did. So he actually thanks me for the baubles I sent, and that there so far is no one Norwegian contributions except me. And he also said that he is looking forward to seeing my review video. So thank you so much, Jamie. That was that made my day. That you remembered that was me, and that really means a lot. You have a great customer service. I love it. So that was amazing. I'm not one to do like reviews, so you have to take this little one that I'm giving you here. So, but I love the magazines, and as I said, the last one, the hero and villains, I love so many of the patterns, and they are going to be stitched. So hopefully I can get those kitted up and do that half stitches so I can stitch them in 2019. So thank you all so much for watching, for joining me. I have had a blast for almost 1.5 hours talking about my stitching and plans, and I love talking about my plans. You maybe have figured that out by now, just maybe. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will be back second Friday of November, and I will be back the first Tuesday of November for a live stitch with me. I am not on summertime anymore, so I am just Central European time zone right now. So no Central European summertime that it was previously. Now it's just Central European time zone. If I remember, I will link the time zone below. So, and I will most likely start around half nine. Half nine? Was that correct? 8:30 p.m. When I have gotten Leo, my son, to sleep. And I will try and announce it before I put him to bed, and on Instagram, and I will link, as always, I usually link my Instagram below if you want to follow me there. So hard to say that word today. And so I announce it in my history, and then I will announce again just a few minutes before I go live. So if you really don't want to miss it, you can just, I let you know there when I go live, or just push the little bell beside the subscription button, and you will get notifications from YouTube when I go live or post a video. So thank you all so much for joining me and watching. Feel free to leave a comment or drop a like or push the subscribe button if you haven't. I don't mind. I'm just glad if you do. I try to answer every comment personally. Sometimes they are a little bit shorter than other times, but that is, don't think it's something personal, it's just my mood. If I'm having a bad day, I just can't manage to write something long, but I always try to write something nice, even if it's a short thing. I do. And there might be a whole bunch of comments from me on other videos with just a heart, and that is my way of saying I watched you, I love you, and my brain has shut down, so I have no idea what to comment. So you get a heart from me. So that, I think, is going to be my new thing. So hope you like that. So I will see you later. Have a great Halloween and weekend, as I said, for the ones leaving before the haul. So goodbye.